It's October 14, 2021. I'm Todd Dunn, and today I'm back in the boat shed to begin the fairing process on these new pieces of planking that I put in. I've got to fair them so that they're flush across the boundary here and down here. I'm going to trim off the bungs and sand them fair. So I'm going to start that process today by trimming the bungs. So I'm going to set up and get to work. All right, a lot of people would trim these bungs off with a chisel, but I'm not very good with a chisel. I invariably end up with some wood below the surface being trimmed off, so I just use my oscillating saw. I don't cut them off perfectly flush because I'm going to sand them the rest of the way. Okay, that made quick work of those, and I'll move the my ground cloth down in a little bit and do the other plank. So right now I'm going to set up my sander and the vacuum so I can sand these. I'm using the vacuum cleaner to get everything, collect the dust so it doesn't get on adjacent boats. Okay, that's all sanded relatively fair. This plank up here is pretty good. It feels pretty fair. Now right in here, there's a bit of a lump that I'm going to have to get rid of. I can do that one of two ways. I can longboard sand this plank and get rid of this slightly high spot here, but that'll take a long time. Or there's another method I can use, which I'm going to show you. Down here, there's actually quite a bit of curvature in the hull here. And this plank is at about the right level along the center of the plank. The top edge and the bottom edge are a little bit high relative to the adjacent planks. Now I can sand that fair, but that will take a lot of time. And I see I missed a spot down here where I had patched, where I had screw holes for a piece of wood I used to pull this in a little better than just the screws. So I'm going to sand that a little more. Okay, that's smooth now. As I was saying, I can sand these plank edges fair, but that's a little tricky to get it even, the full length of the plank. And down here, it's standing out by, 3/32 of an inch. So rather than sand it, I'm going to plane it. And rather than use a hand plane where variations in the grain of the wood make it difficult to get a fair line, I'm going to use an electric plane. And that will allow me to plane this top edge of the plank fair with the rest of the plank above it, and the bottom edge of the plank fair with the plank below it very quickly. Okay, so planing and sanding the top and bottom edges of these planks fairs them in with the rest of the hull, but leaves the center a little bit high to match hull curvature a little better. And what I'm going to do is coat these with fairing compound, and then with the random orbital sander I'll take off the real highs and lows. And then we'll go with a longboard, which is about an 18-inch long piece of plywood with a handle at each end, and just sand across it like this to fully blend it into the curvature of the hull, so that these repairs, once they're painted, since they'll match the curvature of the hull, will be invisible. I still have a little work to do down here. I can feel an irregularity right in here. And just with my hand, I know there's an irregularity, but I can't tell. I mean, I know there's a low spot here and a little bit of a high here. Down here it's okay, but I'm going to have to work on this a little bit more to get this irregularity, this little hump right in here out. I'm going to use a straight edge to determine exactly where it is. So that is trimming the bungs and the first pass at fairing these planks into the hull. And there's actually quite a bit more work because longboarding is really tedious. But I like to do this first to minimize the amount of material I have to remove with the longboard. Okay, I'm just going to do the same to that back plank. You've seen what I did here. No point in watching me do exactly the same thing again. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel to get more content similar to this, although there won't be a lot more work on the top sides on this boat. The rest of the fairing will go fairly quickly, and within a few days I hope to be putting some paint on the hull. Thanks for watching.